Hi, and welcome to the Parkland Challenge 2018. So far, we have 3 teams in our finals: Blue Ridge, Prairie Central, and Champaign Centennial. One of the teams today will join these others in our championship bracket. Let's meet our teams for the day and find out who that is.
Joel Dietrich, senior.
Logan Knuth, senior.
Adam McMullen, senior.
Zane Inman, senior.
Lucy Gailey, sophomore.
Nathan Schul, senior.
Madeline Jarnett, senior.
Nathan Ellsburn, senior.
Ben Setterdahl, junior.
Elizabeth Schluter, junior.
Okay, let's get started with our game. Who directed Jackie Brown, Reservoir Dogs, PBL, Zane?
Tarantino.
Yes, Quentin Tarantino and Pulp Fiction. What is the name of the Greek goddess of victory? St. Joe, Nate.
Nike.
Nike is correct. What communication and entertainment medium did Edward Armstrong invent in 1939? That was FM radio. Which state has the smallest population? PBL, Joel.
Alaska.
Not Alaska. You guys can confirm.
Montana.
Actually, Wyoming. What weighs more, a pound or a kilo? PBL, Adam.
Kilo.
Kilo is correct. Which southern state is the Peach State? PBL, Joel.
Georgia.
Georgia is correct. Who directed Sicko, Bowling for Columbine, and Fahrenheit? PBL, Zane.
Moore.
Yes, Michael Moore. What is an independent country or community, especially a democratic republic? PBL, Zane.
Congo.
Pardon?
Congo.
Not Congo. You guys can confirm.
Makes sense. Okay.
Can you answer?
Country.
No, Commonwealth. What are the French-speaking people who were expelled from Canada and resettled in Louisiana called? PBL, Joel. Need an answer you guys can confirm?
Cajun.
Cajun is correct. Yeah. What fast food restaurant did Ray Kroc found? PBL, Zane.
McDonald's.
McDonald's is correct. Who is the only president buried in Washington's National Cathedral? PBL, Adam.
Adams.
Not Adams. You guys can confirm?
Kennedy.
No, it's Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson. What is the only U.S. state that grows coffee? St. Joe, Ben.
Hawaii.
Hawaii is correct. By 1800, the average human lifespan in England had reached 36, 46, or 56. PBL, Joel.
36.
36 is correct, yes. It's a golf rarity, but what is 4 under par called besides a double eagle? St. Joe, Ben.
Albatross.
Albatross is correct. Carlsbad Caverns is located in which U.S. state? PBL, Joel.
New Mexico.
New Mexico is correct. Good job. What comic strip was the basis for the long-running Broadway musical Annie? PBL, Joel.
Little Orphan Annie.
Yes, Little Orphan Annie. What Revolutionary War naval officer said, "I have not yet begun to fight"? PBL, Joel.
John Paul Jones.
John Paul Jones is correct. What is the acronym for an intergovernmental military alliance based on? The North Atlantic Treaty. St. Joe.
NATO.
NATO is correct, yes. Boy's Life is the official magazine of St. Joe, Nate.
Boy Scouts of America.
Yes, Boy Scouts of America. What news magazine's first cover in 1936 was by famed photographer Margaret Burke White? St. Joe, Nate.
Time.
Not Time. You guys can confirm?
It's National Geographic.
National Geographic.
No, it was Life. Life. What is a ship from which planes can be launched called? PBL, Joel.
Aircraft carrier.
Yes, carrier. You can see the world's largest enchilada at the Whole Enchilada Festival in what southwestern state? PBL, Joel.
Arizona.
Not Arizona. You guys can confirm?
New Mexico.
New Mexico is correct. The slogan "Just Do It" was created in 1988 for which PBL Joel.
Nike.
Yes, Nike. What was Martin Luther King Jr.'s name at birth? His name was Michael Luther King Jr. Michael J. Fox's book, Always Looking Up, The Adventures of an Incurable Optimist. PBL Zane.
Parkinson's.
Yes, talks about a struggle with which disease, and that disease is Parkinson's. Out of the following three, which is the best poker hand? Four of a kind, flush, or straight flush? PBL Adams.
Straight flush.
Straight flush is correct. Who was Vice President of the United States when Lincoln was assassinated? PBL Joel.
Johnson.
Yes, Andrew Johnson. What landlocked state contains the largest saltwater body in the United States? PBL Joel.
Utah.
Yeah, Utah, yes, it's the Great Salt Lake. If you want to see the Crab Nebula, at what constellation would you point your telescope? St. Joe Nate.
Orion.
Not Orion. You guys confirm?
It's the crab one. Is that Pisces? Sure.
Sagittarius.
Taurus. Taurus. Okay, it's time for this round's video question, which is for St. Joe.
This video question is brought to you by the Social Sciences Department. Which constitutional amendment provides protection from unreasonable search and seizure?
The Fifth Amendment.
The constitutional amendment that provided protection from unreasonable search and seizure was the Fourth Amendment.
Okay, let's get back to our regular game. What future U.S. president received the last rites of the Catholic Church after an infection following spinal surgery in 1954? PBL Joel.
Nixon.
Not Nixon. You guys can confirm. Any answer?
Kennedy.
Yes, it was Kennedy before he became president. What country singer was enshrined in the Country Music Hall of Fame and the Cowboy Hall of Fame? PBL Joel.
Gene Autry.
Not Gene Autry. You guys can confirm. Any answer?
George Strait.
No, Tex Ritter. Tex Ritter. Both good guesses. Which state boasts the cities Paducah, Lexington, PBL Joel?
Kentucky.
Kentucky, yes, and Bowling Green was the last one. What does Roger mean when communicating via radio? PBL Zane.
Understood.
No. You guys confirm?
Correct.
It means received, but we'll have the librarian look that up just to make sure it's kind of close. Who was president of the United States when bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and PBL Joel?
Truman.
Harry Truman is correct. Which of these metals is not magnetic? Iron, nickel, PBL Joel.
Nickel.
No, you guys can first finish for you. Iron, nickel, cobalt, or aluminum?
Aluminum.
Aluminum was correct. What was former President Bill Clinton's middle name? That was Jefferson. Jefferson. The son of what famous architect invented Lincoln Logs? PBL Joel.
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Yes. I didn't know that. Fun. Name the early 1900s TV show about a young doctor who moves to Alaska. It was Northern Exposure. Northern Exposure. The mouth of the Ganges River can be found in what country? PBL Joel.
India.
Not India. You guys can refer.
Nepal.
Bangladesh. In 2006, who bought YouTube for St. Joe Nate?
Google.
Google, yes, for $165 billion. 1.65. What federal organization was formed to control the flood-prone Tennessee River? St. Joe, Madeline.
Tennessee River Valley Conference.
No. You guys can confirm?
Conservation Department.
Yeah, go ahead and say something.
Go for it.
Conservation Department.
No, you're really close. Tennessee Valley Authority. Some of the types of this are blood, Hamlin, common, and naval. PBL Zane.
Orange.
Yes, types of oranges. According to the Bible, on what day did God divide land and water? PBL Joel.
The second day.
Not the second day. You guys want the third?
The third day.
Third day is correct. Ethan Allen led the founding of which state? PBL Joel.
Virginia.
Not Virginia. You guys can first.
New Hampshire.
It was Vermont. What author of the popular children's book, The Giving Tree, is also under PBL Joel?
Shel Silverstein.
Yes, Shel Silverstein. What alcoholic drink, also referred to as a Japanese rice wine, St. Joe Nate?
Sake.
Sake is correct. It's made by fermenting rice. Bottineau, North Dakota has the Four Chaplains Monument, a memorial to 4 men whose ship was torpedoed in 1943. What did these 4 men do to be so honored? PBL Adams.
Stayed on the ship.
No, not stayed on the ship.
They were brothers.
No, they gave up their life jackets for other passengers. The Spirit of St. Louis, a 1957 movie. PBL Joel.
Charles Lindbergh.
Charles Lindbergh, yes, starred Jimmy Stewart. Okay, that's the end of our first round. We'll tally up our scores and be back with the lightning round right after this break.
I recommend taking a dual credit class while you're still in high school because it counts for both high school and college credit. It's a great experience.
Okay, welcome back. After one round, we've got St. Joe-Ogden with 120 and Paxton-Buckley-Loda with 210. Let's see if those scores change during our lightning round. What Mormon university is in Provo, St. Joe Ben?
Brigham Young University.
Brigham Young, yes, Provo, Utah. What humid southern state calls itself the sportsman's paradise? The state is Louisiana. What was the first published Sherlock Holmes story written by Arthur Conan Doyle? PBL Lucy.
I study in Scarlet.
Study in Scarlet, yes, from 1887. What state capital is closest to the equator? St. Joe Nate.
Honolulu.
Honolulu, Hawaii is correct. If you are mile 0 on US Highway 1, what famous Florida island are you on? You're at mile 0. You'll be on Key West. Key West. Who led a gang of horse and cattle thieves known as the Rustlers? PBL Joel.
Jesse James.
Not that's Jesse James. It was Billy the Kid in New Mexico during the 1870s. What character was the leader of the pickpockets in Oliver Twist? PBL Joel.
Fagin.
Fagin was correct. What country is home to the highest waterfall in the world? St. Joe, Madeline.
Venezuela.
Venezuela is correct. What is a large-scale air mass that rotates around a strong center of low atmospheric pressure? That is a cyclone. In Bobby Gentry's 1967 song, what boy jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge? That was Billy Joe McAllister. Every Christmas at Trenton, New Jersey, you can see the reenactment of what famous Revolutionary War general's crossing of the St. Joe Nathan?
George Washington.
Yes, Delaware River. Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid from 1973 starred Chris Christopherson and what other music idol who wrote the song Blowing in the Wind? PBL Zane.
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan is correct. What was the first commercial product that had a barcode? That was Wrigley's Juicy Fruit Gum. That's the first thing. Who was the first scientist to postulate the theory that the Earth moves around the sun instead of vice versa? PBL Joel.
Aristotle.
No, it was Copernicus. North Carolina State coach Jim Valvano died of cancer. What is the name of the charitable foundation in honor of him? St. Joe Ben.
The V Foundation?
The V Foundation is correct. What is the name of the fault line that runs through Missouri? St. Joe Nathan.
The New Madrid fault line?
Yes. Okay, that's the end of our lightning round. Good lightning round. We'll tally up our scores and be back with our final round right after these messages.
I like that dual credit classes are challenging and that they prepare me for college.
I think dual credit is a great start for earning college credit as well as preparing for your academic future.
Okay, the game tightened up a little bit during the lightning round. St. Joe-Ogden up to 180, Paxton-Buckley-Loda with 220. Let's get to our final round. What month of the year did Neil Armstrong first walk on the moon? PBL Joel.
July.
July is correct. A Hulk of what primary color was introduced by Marvel in 2007? PBL Zane.
Green.
Not green. You guys confer?
Red.
Red is correct. There was a Red Hulk in 2007. What peppery spice shares its name with the capital of French Guiana? St. Joe Ben.
Paprika.
Not paprika. You guys confer?
Sure.
Cumin.
Cayenne. Who knew? What two countries share the longest border in the world? St. Joe Ben.
United States and Canada?
Yes. How many inches are there in 14 yards? PBL Zane.
So 240.
No, you guys confer? Need an answer?
282.
168. What kind of matter is a main component of the Earth's atmosphere? St. Joe Nate.
Gas.
No, go ahead. You guys confer?
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen. What church did Henry VIII create when the Pope, PBL Joel?
The Church of England.
Church of England. Pope would not give him a divorce. What British Commonwealth nation has the most people driving on the right side of the road? St. Joe Nate.
South Africa.
Not South Africa. No, you guys confer?
UK.
Canada. What ship rescues Ishmael at the end of Moby Dick? PBL Joel.
The Saratoga.
Not Saratoga. You guys confer?
The SS Ishmael.
No, it's the Rachel. We're assuming anybody ever got to the end of Moby Dick. Where would you find the nation's only monument to an insect? That is Enterprise, Alabama. And that's a Greek-style monument to the boll weevil, apparently. What is the last name of Joe, Beth, Meg, and Amy? PBL Joel.
March.
March, yes, from Little Women. In celebration for its completion, what ancient Roman structure held 100 days of games? St. Joe Nathan.
Coliseum?
The Coliseum is correct. The Dartmouth, the Eleanor, and the Beaver were the three ships on which famous event from American history occurred. Those were the ships from the Boston Tea Party. What artist's most famous work is arguably The Night Watch? PBL Joel.
Whistler.
No, you guys confirm?
Rembrandt.
Rembrandt is correct. Which science deals with snow and ice and natural formation and the natural formations they make? That is glaciology. What is the minimum number of dogs required to be on a sled at the beginning of the Iditarod? PBL Adam.
12.
12 is correct. What river, famous in a Stephen Foster song, originates in the Okefenokee Swamp? That is the Swanee River. Swanee. Which people ruled the west coast of South America until the start of the 16th century? St. Joe Ben.
Incas?
Incas is correct. Name the female group to sell the most top 20 singles. St. Joe Nate.
Spice Girls.
Not the Spice Girls. You guys confirm?
Sure.
Bengals.
No, the Supremes. What fort did Texans promise to recall PBL Joel?
The Alamo.
The Alamo, yes. What is another name for the right to silence warning given by police in the United States? St. Joe Nate.
Miranda rights.
Miranda warning, yes, for criminal suspects in police custody. What Pixar movie shares its name with a vegetable dish? St. Joe Nate.
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille is correct. The NRA is dedicated to protecting Second Amendment rights. What does the NRA, PBL Joel?
National Rifle Association.
Yes, what does the NRA stand for? What is the world's longest river? St. Joe Ben.
Nile?
The Nile is correct. San Francisco's annual Cherry Blossom Festival highlights what ethnic community? PBL Joel.
Japanese.
Japanese is correct. What body organ's natural lubricant is called sebum? St. Joe Nate.
Skin.
Skin is correct. Okay, it's time for this round's video question, which goes to Paxton-Buckley-Loda.
This video question is brought to you by the Social Sciences Department. What 1963 landmark decision from the United States Supreme Court provided for right to counsel in felony criminal trials?
Roe versus Wade. Yeah. I guess Roe throw it out. Roe versus Wade.
In the 1963 case Gideon versus Wainwright, the Supreme Court unanimously ruled that states are required under the Sixth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution to provide an attorney to defendants in criminal cases who are unable to afford their own attorneys.
Okay, we got a tight game. Let's finish up. What is the northernmost country on the European continent? St. Joe Nate.
Norway.
Norway is correct. Which actor played Mr. Spock in the original St. Joe Nathan?
Leonard Nimoy.
Leonard Nimoy, the original Star Trek series. Who was the host of the Tonight Show before Johnny Carson? It was Jack Parr. Jack Parr. What famous gunfighter supposedly died while holding a poker hand of aces and eights? St. Joe Nathan.
Wild Bill Hickok.
Wild Bill Hickok is correct. IBM is a multinational technology company. What does IBM stand for? It stands for International Business Machines. What Hollywood club is famous for its roast of celebrities? St. Joe Nate.
Comedy Central.
Not Comedy Central. You guys can confirm. What Hollywood club?
It's a club.
Sure.
Comedy club.
No, it's the Friars Club. The Friars Club. What 17th century English Lord Protector's severed head was finally buried after 300 years? PBL Joel.
William of Orange.
No, you guys can confirm?
Wallace.
No, Oliver Cromwell. What organization registers purebred pooches? St. Joe Ben.
Pedigree?
No, you guys can confirm?
What's the dog competition?
American Kennel Association.
No, American Kennel Club. What popular musical about a state was originally titled St. Joe-Ogden Ben?
Oklahoma?
Oklahoma. It was originally titled Away We Go. What cuisine makes extensive use of the stock called dashi? PBL's name.
Japanese.
Japanese is correct. What's a gerund in the English language? St. Joe, Nate.
A noun ending in ing.
No, that's not exactly what we're looking for. You guys can confirm?
That's the verb used as a noun, maybe. Noun acting as an adjective.
Noun acting as an adjective.
No, it's a noun formed from a verb. Noun formed from a verb. Or a verb used as a noun. What is the most active volcano in the world, and where is it located? It's Kilauea, Hawaii, is where that is located. What famous well did Edwin Drake drill in August of 1859? St. Joe, Nathan.
Oil?
Yes, first oil well. Which biblical figure was left to drift on the Nile in a basket as an infant? PBL Joel.
Moses.
Moses, and then saved by the daughter of Pharaoh. Poutine is a French-Canadian dish consisting of gravy and cheese curds on top of what? St. Joe, Nate.
French fries.
French fries is correct. Which Russian author worked on his novel Anna Karenina from St. Joe, Nate?
Tolstoy.
Tolstoy, 1873 to 1877. What artist came up with the concept of 15 minutes of fame? PBL Joel.
Warhol.
Warhol, yes. The tallest building in Richmond, Virginia is named for the country's 5th president. Who was he? St. Joe Ben.
Madison?
Not Madison. You guys can confirm?
John Quincy Adams.
That was James Monroe. What noted civic businessman's organization is headquartered in Evanston, Illinois? PBL Zane.
Jimmy John's.
Not Jimmy Jones. No, you guys can confirm?
Right there.
Buffett.
No, we were looking for the Rotary Club. That's the Rotary Club headquarters. What Truman Capote book was written about the murder of the Clutter family? PBL Logan.
In Cold Blood.
In Cold Blood, yes. Good job. Okay, that's the end of our games. We'll tally up our score and tell you who's moving on right after this.
Oh my.
Okay, welcome back. As I promised, we've tallied up our scores, and we don't have a winner yet. 340 to 340. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a 1-minute lightning round and see if somebody wins after that. So let's get started. If you are viewing the animals at the Audubon Park Zoo, what southern metropolis are you in? You would be in New Orleans. Who told Winston Churchill that the French regard him as a reincarnation of Joan of Arc? PBL Joel.
Charles de Gaulle.
Charles de Gaulle is correct. On which real London street does the fictional detective Sherlock Holmes, PBL Joel?
Baker Street.
Baker Street is correct. Chip and Joanna Gaines rose to fame on this HGTV show that recently ended a 5-year run. The show was called Fixer Upper. What's most likely to occur when your diaphragm goes into spasms? St. Joe, Nate.
Hiccups.
Hiccups is correct. What is the capital of Northern Ireland? PBL, Joel.
Dublin.
Not Dublin, it's Belfast. Okay, well, after one overtime, we're once again at a tie, so let's go to our second overtime and see if somebody can pull out. This will be a lightning round. If you wanted to visit a large and free zoo in Chicago, where would you go? PBL Adam.
Lincoln Park.
Lincoln Park Zoo is correct. Who was the first woman ever elected to the U.S. House of Representatives? That was Jeanette Rankin from Montana in 1916. What disease accounts for 2 of every 3 cases of dementia? St. Joe, Nate.
Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's is correct. The 1978 movie The Winds of Kitty Hawk was about what 2 pioneer PBL, Joel?
Wilbur and Orville Wright.
Pardon me?
Wilbur and Orville Wright.
Yes, correct. What crime-solving technique was first used by Argentinian police Juan Vucetich in 1892? St. Joe, Nate.
Fingerprinting.
Fingerprinting is correct. The Battle of Jutland was a naval battle that occurred during which war? St. Joe, Nathan.
World War I.
World War I is correct. Okay, well, that was one of the best games we've ever had on Parkland Challenge. St. Joe-Ogden finally pulls ahead 380 to Paxton-Buckley-Loda's 370. After this, we'll have Muhammad and Salt Fork, and then the winner of that game will play St. Joe-Ogden. Stick around.